Hi everyone. So I don't know if you all know this, but we just went to Austin, Texas, me, Ben, and Ryder. We wanted to take like a little family trip, family vacation, because we've never traveled with Ryder before. She's 2, and we thought it'd be fun to take it's like a quick flight. It's 3 hours from LA. And we figured we'd go there and just like hang out in this really killer Airbnb and try to see how she is with flying, And the trip was great. So on the last night we were there, we got in Wednesday and we went to a thing on Friday. We flew out Saturday morning. We went to this thing on Friday, which was like a really fun, outdoor, cute area, like playground area, tons of kids everywhere. Ryder loved it. She was playing. She made tons of friends. There was also a bluebonnet field there, a little one, and I took pictures of Ryder with this little friend she made. It was super cute. And then we were like, well, let's get food. And so we had tacos and a burrito. And there's benches there, like picnic benches. And so so Ryder is sitting next to me on a picnic bench, and the ground is maybe like that far, not far at all. And underneath us is wood chips, like a bunch of wood chips. So nothing crazy, no cement, nothing hard. And Ben's sitting next to me and he gets up to go grab something and she's sitting next to me and I'm eating. And normally Ryder will go, all done, when she's done with something and wants to go do something else. She didn't say all done. She just turns her legs this way to get off the bench. And I was thinking, I didn't move quick enough, I guess. It's so hard with a kid, like sometimes they make moves that are so fast and you're just like, ah. And so she swung her legs over and got them caught and fell. When she fell, I thought she fell just kind of like this on her shoulder. But she, I guess, had fallen like putting her hand out. But she didn't even fall that far, you guys. I have friends who have babies, toddlers, kids, and they have fallen off the changing table to a hard wood floor. They've fallen off huge, tall beds and nothing. So she starts crying really hard and we're like, oh my God, and her hand is shaking. Her right arm, her hand is shaking, and I'm like, what the hell? And Ben comes over, he's like, what happened? And I do feel really guilty about it. I guess I should have put her on my lap. I didn't think that she would swing her legs so fast. And also, I figured she'd swing it all over and then she'd be able to step up and go. It was such a small bench. So I was like, oh my God, like, it's just unreal to me, like what happened. So she's crying and we just left. We're like, okay, we were barely there, but we're like, I guess let's go. And her arm kept shaking and she wouldn't use it. So she would just lay it on her side. She wouldn't use it. She was using her other arm and that's weird. Okay. I was like, let's get her Tylenol, and then see what's up. Maybe she just hurt it or something. She barely fell. Maybe it's just like kind of hurt or whatever, or bruised. And we figured it's in the elbow because the way that she was being, we could lift this, she could move her hands, her wrists, we were like, we didn't know what was going on. So we, take her home and she's pretty chill, she's calmed out. And then we put her down for bed. We gave her, I think like a sponge bath because we didn't want to mess with her, So she lays down and goes to sleep right away, not on the arm. And she sleeps through the night just fine. So we're like, maybe that's good. In the morning, she's crying, when she wakes up, and we're like, oof, we had to fly out pretty early in the morning. So if we tried to find an urgent care, and it takes 2 hours sometimes at urgent care, which it did here in LA when we got back, but it just wasn't going to work, We had to fly out. We would miss our flight. So we check out, we get on the plane. Ryder is okay on the plane. This is a 3-hour plane. At one point, she's in pain, from her arm and just agitated, tired. And she screamed and cried for 30 minutes straight, which is crazy when you have a baby screaming on a plane. It's nuts. You're like, and I didn't know. I was like, is it, I mean, I know it's her arm, but could it just be her tired? Like, we didn't know. We're like, it can't be broke, right? That's crazy. She barely fell. So we go to the urgent care and, some doctor comes. They don't deal with kids, by the way. So don't ever try to get your full thing, like your evaluation, from a non-pediatrician orthopedic doctor. Trust me, because they don't know. He was basically like, I don't know, it's broken. He said, we did an x-ray. He said, it's broken. He was guessing. I'm like, what? Please learn from me. Never ever put your kid on a bench. I didn't know. I figured she's right here sitting with me, right next to me, like she moves so fast. It's my fault for sure, but I'm like, she barely fell. It's just crazy. The whole thing is crazy. And so we talked to him, and he says it's broken. He thinks it might be out of socket, which is weird because on the flight, she's kind of like resting on it still. So I'm like, you think it's out of socket? He wanted to like, you know, put it in place, which is going to be hell for Ryder. And I was like, well, let's just wait. Let me see the next day, the next morning, which is today, an orthopedic pediatrician or whatever that deals with kids and babies' bones, you know? So we go today, and they do a second x-ray, and they're able to see a little closer. It's some sort of fracture right at the elbow. It's nothing crazy, right? They're not going to have to put a splint on her. They're not going to have to do surgery. Nothing. It's pretty minor. I mean, her fall was so little, but be careful with the babies. Take it from me. And the one thing I learned was, you know, if you go to an adult doctor for this, like we went to urgent care, they're going to be like, nah, it's okay. Let her just rest her arm and she'll be fine. It's not smart. Adult breaks are completely different than baby and toddler breaks. You can't see a lot of stuff too when you're doing an x-ray. There's a lot of fluid in there. You don't know. Her arm could grow back different. It could be bad in the end. Go to a kid's specialist if this happens and they're holding their arm weird. Don't ever let it pass. When we were in Texas that morning before the flight, Ben took my scarf and he was able to tie it around her like a sling. She's such a good kid. She just wears it. She's so awesome. Okay. Even when they did at the urgent care, they had to wrap her arm up. She just sits there. I'll put video here. She sits here and they put their wrap on her. She's so good. She's like, thank you. She's so sweet. Everyone's just dying over her. I mean, in Texas, they went wild over her. People would stop in their tracks and be like, oh my God, she's so beautiful. And she'd go, hi, and want a huggy. And she was running into all the different stores, hugging people, owners. She's just so fun. She's so funny. I'm like, we're just like, oh my God. She's very fun. But yeah, so... And then today when they did the actual cast that she has to wear for only 3 weeks, she was great. She sat there. She looked at the whole process as they were doing it. I'll put video here. She's just such a sweetheart. It's crazy. We're like, oh my God, she's so sweet. But yeah, that's it. I wanted to update you guys. I can put the name, what the doctor said it was. I'll write it down so you can know. It was nice to talk to other parents on Instagram. Someone said that their 2-year-old broke their leg. So just be careful. And they told me today, they're like, even from a fall this big, it just depends on how they land on it. They are delicate. And I'm like, wow. And me and my friend Tammy were like, we thought babies were like resilient. You know, they're little babies. They can roll around on the ground. They're jumping off things. Little kids, my friend's little boy jumps off things. He's 3 years old. He's going wild. He's never broken a bone. So I don't know. It's a freak accident. It sucks. I'll take some pictures of her and her cast and I'll post them because maybe people will want to see it. But that's it. Thanks for watching.
Cast going on? What's this?
Tiny baby.
Tiny baby?
Yeah.
What's this?
Nanny.
Ninnies, and what's this?
Nana.
Nana, banana. Very good, honey. You want a baba?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are your little fingers, huh? Can you say fingers?
Relax your old bit. Good.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good baby. What a little trooper. Poor baby.
Yeah, like this. Good job.